Hey everybody, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hope you guys are all having a fun, fierce, and fabulous day wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining me today. So in today's video, we are going to be spilling the tea on my ex-boyfriend, believe it or not. So if you want to know the tea of how he tried to destroy my life, then keep on watching this video. Alright guys, well, welcome back to my channel. As I said before, thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already, please hit that big red subscribe button down there. Yeah, let's hop into today's video. Just over a year ago now, August 7th, I would believe was the day that I met my ex-boyfriend. And when we first got together, everything was great. We moved in together literally within a month, and things were absolutely amazing. Then we had one of the most ugly breakups I have ever had, probably in my life. I wanted to break up amicably. And originally, I thought that that's exactly what was going to happen. About a week after I moved, or about 2 weeks after I moved out of his place, I met some people that I am now living with. And they are pups just like me, and invited me to come and stay with them. You're probably wondering, well, what the hell does that have to do with him trying to ruin your life? Well, this is where our story begins. Where I'm living now, and the room that I am in now, used to be somebody else's bedroom. I'm not going to name this person. For namesake, we will use Tim. We'll just say Tim. Now, the people that I'm living with were trying to get him to move out. They did not want him here. They didn't want to have anything to do with him. Apparently, he was not a very good roommate, and some things happened between them that just made it so that he needed to go. As I was crashing in my sister's storage room, that I also, too, needed a place to go. The boys decided that, you know, it would probably be best if I moved in and he moved out. I then find out that where Tim is moving to is my ex-boyfriend's house. The next day after I was here the first time, I get a call from my ex-boyfriend being like, hey, what are you up to? Well, I'm doing this and whatever else, and I'm still trying to find a place, and I'm starting a new job and all that. He's like, okay, well, I have somebody moving into the house, so I'm gonna have to move all of your stuff into the room underneath the stairs. Okay, mind you, I still hadn't picked up any of my stuff from his place. So he says, I'm gonna move it under the stairs, yada yada, I have somebody moving in. I was like, oh, that's great. Who is it? He's like, well, his name is Tim. I was like, oh, and where did you meet him? And he's like, well, you know, I met him on Grinder or whatever. And I was like, ah, interesting. Okay. He's like, why do you ask? I'm like, no reason at all. And I look over at the boys and they're like, you've got to be kidding. I'm like, nope, you heard it clear as day. Like, I mean, the universe is fucked, but like, I mean, what a way to, you know, do this. You know, it's so weird. Like, literally, we're house swapping. Like, it's just the strangest thing. Then all of a sudden I get a call from him saying that apparently the night that I was here, apparently I was belligerently drunk and yelling and screaming at Tim upstairs, saying a bunch of horrible things that were not true whatsoever. So now, on top of everything, Tim is making up lies to my ex-boyfriend about things that I'm saying and doing that never happened. But then something clues in. I'm like, wait a minute, where did he say he met him again? Grinder. Huh, that's funny. How long has he been talking to him? Right, 2 weeks? That's funny because didn't I just move out of the house 2 weeks ago? Oh, right. So that would mean that you were either talking to him before we broke up or literally the day after I moved out. So I get down to the bottom of it and I go through my entire timeline. And as it turns out, my boyfriend at the time, who is now my ex-boyfriend, but at the time was still my boyfriend, was cheating on me, talking with other guys on Grindr. He was the one accusing me of cheating and sleeping around behind his back, even though he knows that I am a porn star and that I do that for a living. And we have a signed contract stating that he was okay with me doing said content. So you were going behind my back before you had even broken up with me. So that means that this was all premeditated. Great. So now I'm extremely pissed off. And I call him out on his shit. And I tell him, I'm like, I cannot believe that you had me feeling guilty for no reason. Literally saying after we broke up, you know, it's like, there's not going to be anybody else after you because it's either you or nobody, and like guilt tripping me like beyond belief. And I'm like, wait a second. So you literally were still trying to control me and make me feel guilty about everything that happened in our relationship. Meanwhile, you were going behind my back and doing the exact thing that you told me that I was doing to you that I wasn't. I say to him, I was like, you know what? I just want to be done with this. I'll pay for my phone because me and him had a contract together. And so in order for me to continue to have a phone, because otherwise I'd have to go and get my own plan and all this other bullshit, I would just send him $100 a month and it would be fine. Right? You would think. So a few months go by and I'm completely over the whole, you know, ex-boyfriend situation and whatever else, and I'm just not wanting to deal with it anymore, and I'm finally moving on with my life. Or so I thought. Shambhala comes up. So I told my ex, I told him, Shambhala is coming up, they only have one cell tower. There's no guarantee that I'm going to be able to pay my rent on time. It might be, or pay my phone bill on time. It might be a couple days late. And here's the reason why it might be late. You know, there's only one cell tower. There's no guarantee that my payment would go through, right? He chooses to ignore this email because he's blocked me on everything else. So I can't message him any way else. He obviously didn't see it because when I get back, I message him. I'm finally back. Have the money for you. I'll send it right away. So I send the $100 for the phone, expecting that my phone is now going to be up and working because it's been 2 days, you know, not having the phone because, you know, obviously the bill wasn't paid. No response. So I send him another email the next day. No response. Another email the next day, finally getting fed up. And finally I get a response back. And this is what it says. He says to me, I'm keeping the $100 for the part of the bill that you owe. Also, I've disengaged your phone number and I've blacklisted your device. So I'm keeping the $100 to help pay for the charges that I now have to incur from canceling your phone. Okay? Like, you literally just cut off my phone because I was 2 days late paying it. Oh, and then told me, if you contact me again, I'm gonna have you charged with harassment for trying to contact you about my cell phone and making sure that the bill was paid. So for 3 weeks, I was without a device. I was without a phone. I didn't have a phone number. The only way people could get in contact with me was through like Telegram, Instagram, or TikTok, or whatever, and only if I was on Wi-Fi. God bless my mother for being the angel that she is. Because thanks to her, I was able to get a new phone. She calls me up the one day. She's like, this is getting ridiculous. So I'm coming to get you. We're going to Rogers. And I'm getting you a new phone. So we put me on her plan, got me a brand new device, got me all set up. And then I had to go through and I had to change all of my two-step verification. with like everything, with the bank, with CRA, with My Service Canada, with like basically everything. I had to re-download all of my apps and stuff like that. Like it was a process. The thing is although it caused me quite a bit of distress not being able to have a phone to use, and nowadays you need a phone. Like, I mean, you can't be without one. Our lives are on our cellular devices. So because of all the inconveniences that it had caused me and stuff like that, yes, it was a pain in the ass, but the one silver lining about all this, I can still use the device on Wi-Fi. It's got an amazing, amazing camera on it. It's a Google Pixel 7, for Christ's sakes. So, although the only thing that I can't do with it is make phone calls, I can still use the device. So what was the point? You just incurred $2,000 worth of charges canceling that device, trying to cause me more inconvenience in my life, trying to be controlling, trying to be manipulative, yet again, which I have been trying my very, very hardest to stay away from and not react to because I'm being the bigger person. So what was the point? Please, explain to me. Because the way I see it, you just basically caused yourself a bunch more pain that you really didn't need to. All you had to do was take that $100, pay the phone bill, and you wouldn't be stuck with all these extra charges. Like, what were you trying to do? Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm still sitting here. I'm living my best life. I'm creating content. I'm being a full-time content creator just the way that I wanted to be. And I'm loving every single bit of my life now. So I win. I just find it so hilarious. Like, after everything that we had gone through, you know, for him to try and be so controlling and manipulative, even after we've broken up, you know, and then threaten harassment on top of that, because I'm contacting you about my cell phone that I pay for. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand why people feel the need to continually try and fuck with me. And I do say try, because as you can tell, I'm doing pretty okay for myself. So you can try and fuck with my peace. You can try and tear me down. You can try and, you know, ruin my life. But the only person that can ruin my life is me. So say what you want, do what you want. I don't really care anymore. I wish you all the best with your life, but stay the fuck away from mine. And that's all I have to say to him, really. So anyway, there you go. There's the story of how my ex-boyfriend broke up with me and then tried to use me and manipulate me and control me. Alright guys, thank you so much for being here today. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Hit that like button down there. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell to be notified every single time I upload a new video. Also, if you liked today's video, please don't forget to hit the big red subscribe button. I am trying to make it to 100 subscribers. We are getting there. We are at 60 something so far. So we are moving in a forward direction and I want to keep that momentum going. So please, if you like this video, hit that big red subscribe button. And as always, have a fun, fierce, and fabulous day. And remember, you're beautiful, you're capable, you're worth it, you're enough, and I love you. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.